Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Link for Growth TV. At the moment, there's only Tania and I here. Chris is hopefully going to be joining us shortly. But we still have quite a full show. Catherine and Neal are both away. If you want to get in touch with Link for Growth, then you can via Twitter at L4GSWHearts. Via Twitter, that is, at L4GSWHearts. We'd love to hear from you if you've got ideas or comments on the show and want to put some idea or have thoughts on what we're doing and everything. So please do get in touch. Tania, it's been quite a busy week though, hasn't it, briefly?
It has. It's been very busy, Diane. There's loads going on, and I hate to say this. I know we've spoken about it before, but Christmas is on the way.
I know. The lights went on yesterday, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I saw that Neal had posted some pictures on his website, so yeah, it must have been good. I didn't get round there. I was busy round here in the office at the time, so I didn't get round to see it, but I think everyone was having a lovely time.
Good, good. So what headlines have you got for us today?
Well, we've got some news on caddies. Actually, this is about waste recycling. That's a really good piece of news. You know that we're keen on waste recycling here, so this is good news. There's some stuff about play areas. One of them's out of commission for a couple of days this month. And there's some Christmas news from Richard.
Okay, and I'm covering the sport for Neal. I briefly have Neal's thoughts on Watford's loss at Liverpool. Kings Langley there have had quite a good week of it, and Florians lose again, unfortunately. We'll be talking about that. And then when Chris gets here, he's going to be talking about all the usual charity and event information that Catherine does. So this week he's going to be talking about the Peace Hospice and New Hope have events coming up where they're looking for people to buy tickets or to support them in one way or another. There's a full programme at Watford Palace, an absolutely packed programme and quite a varied programme, so he's going to be talking a little bit about that. And of course we've got a whole load of yellow comedy gigs coming up in this next couple of weeks, so he'll be talking about some of those as well. Last week, Link for Growth had a coffee evening at the kitchen on Monday, and again, this was quite well attended. And being the first Monday of the month, that was followed by the national Twitter meet-up, where people from all around the country who belong to Link for Growth can join in and make new contacts and networks around the country. So that was on Monday, and then on Thursday there was a coffee at the Mercure, hosted by Catherine yesterday in the morning. Again, that was an event that was quite well attended, I understand from her. So it looks as if people are using these events for what they're aimed for, which is to get to know people and to work out how you can both network and also build community and support throughout the district. Tania, caddies. Now, we're not talking about golf caddies here, are we?
Yes, Diane, you're absolutely right. We're not talking about golf caddies, although when this came up, I did think, oh, something about the Grove again and all of those terribly good golfers around here. But it's not about them. It's all about kitchen caddies. So I remember when I was a Three Rivers resident, they gave us all little brown bins to put in our kitchens to get all of the scraps of food from the waste. Well, it seems that lots of people get all the scraps of food from the table and then take to your big recycling bin around the corner outside. It seems that a lot of people are unhappy with using them because actually that means there's quite a lot of green waste, food waste, garden waste, that sort of thing, that's then hanging around for a fortnight because of course they then change the frequency of collections, and it starts to pong a bit in the summer, so I understand. And what Watford are doing instead is they are suggesting and encouraging people to use these new waste tidier bags. So they're biodegradable liners for your kitchen caddies. And if you just then fill the biodegradable liner and then take the liner out to the bin doesn't get as mucky, so it doesn't get as smelly, and the food is all wrapped up in there, so the food doesn't get as smelly in the summer. And they're suggesting that that's going to make everybody happy. Of course, it's got to be the biodegradable liners. So those are the ones that have got that little, is it a seed? It says in here somewhere. I think it's a seed logo on them. Seedling logo. There you go. It says it's a seedling logo. I've seen them before on biodegradable things, but those ones, of course, can be used in the green waste that this compost that this is green waste is turned into. So much better way to get rid of your waste if you're concerned about the smell in the summer, or the smell at any time of year, to be honest. Then put it in one of these liners, then stick it in your bin, and that'll cut down the smell. Now, to encourage you to do that, the biodegradable liners, people in houses are getting a delivery of biodegradable liners to start them off. After that delivery from the council, they suggest that you buy it in a supermarket, buy replacements in the supermarket or something, some other source, but that you get them yourself. If you're in a flat and you'd like to take part, if you'd like to get your free liners, then you've got to email inquiries.watford@viola, that's veolia.co.uk. So, good news for waste.
Okay, now last year sometime Chris interviewed Lester Wagman, who was campaigning to keep Watford Met Station open, and according to the Watford Observer, there's been some breaking news this week.
That's right, yeah. So there's now 3,000 people who've signed this petition, more than 3,000 people who've signed this petition to keep Watford Met Line Station open. They're arguing that if the Watford Met Line Station closes, then that's a lot further for people to walk from either of the new stations or the old Watford station when the Met Line extension is complete. They're also arguing, fairly sensibly in my humble opinion, that as trains 4 per hour are still going to be going to the Met Line station to park, why actually can't they take passengers for those 4 times an hour and collect passengers for presumably 4 times an hour that they're going to be around? So if the trains are still going to be going to the Met Line station, allow passengers to go along with them is what they're suggesting. So the petition's been given to our friend Richard, and was given to him on November the 4th by Canterbury residents Carol Skleter and Michael Fish, and they've organised this whole thing, and clearly this is the next step. And what Richard's going to do with it is take it along to the Rail Minister, Paul Maynard MP, and give his opinion about presumably wanting to keep it open. He says he's been working for some time to bolster the case to keep the Watford Met open, and in his view, the station could easily remain open for passengers, generating an income for Transport for London and giving Watford the best of both worlds. The fact that the trains will run to the station without passengers is a crying shame, he says. So I think we can probably agree with that, and hope that his protestations with the Rail Minister are successful. There
Yes.
you go.
Yeah, there's nothing on Richard's own website about this story, but I thought it was worth including because we have interviewed Lester Wagman, Chris did last year, if I remember, in Heavy Rain, and it is an issue. A lot of people are quite keen to keep the station open, aren't they?
They are, Diane. Clearly, over 3,000 of them have signed a petition. So yeah, lots of them quite keen to keep it open, and it is quite a walk from over there at Cassibury or at anyway.
Yeah,
Could be
where, yeah, it is quite a walk, as you say.
Now, we don't want to be encouraging people to go back to their cars. Definitely.
No, exactly. Now, if you have a child under 11, you should have had a letter from Hertfordshire County Council this week or in the past couple of days.
Yes. It seems like a very complicated, convoluted way that we've got these days to get children into schools, and it seems very bureaucratic, and well, it was a lot different in my day. Oh, listen at the age of me. Anyway, there's a whole admissions process even for getting into primary and preschool at the moment. So if people are looking for a school place in September 2017, that's like 10 months away, then if you're of an older group, now secondary, upper school and university colleges, the application season has already closed for September 27 for secondary, upper and studio schools and university technical colleges. So if you're wanting to get into one of them, your deadline's passed, mate. But if you're on primary, junior or middle transfer processes, then now's your time to get in there, and you should have had a letter from the school. Now there's two different ways that you get this. Either it's gone down through to the homes for people who aren't in school at the moment at all, or for parents of people that aren't in school at the moment at all, or it's come home with the children themselves if they're just moving school. So posted directly to families with children of reception age and distributed by schools to children in year 2 in infants and year 4 in first schools. So if you want to get your child into a particular school, then there's this whole online system that you can use to see what's happening, put your opinions forward, put your preferences in, and you got to do it pretty soon.
Yeah, okay. And there's a play area, temporary closure for upgrading works or for works in Three Rivers.
Yeah, that's it. So the Langley Lane play area, junction with South Way, the area is closed on the 29th, 30th of November and the 1st of December. So they're investigating some drainage works and some remedial works there. Presumably it's been a bit boggy there in the past. So they're having a look at the drainage, and for that reason, for those 3 days just coming up, the play area will be closed.
Okay. Now perhaps we should have really got Neal talking about this, but since he isn't here, I've asked you to talk about it, and that's walking football kicks off in South Oxley.
That's right. Well, I'm not entirely sure that there's yet a league or a set of matches. I suppose there must be a set of matches for walking football. But yes, this is something to get people out of their armchairs. Anyone who's just had an operation, anyone that's a little bit unfit, just wants to improve their fitness level. Really, really good way to start to just get yourself out, get yourself meeting people, get yourself just enjoying moving about a bit more. And this, what they call it, a phenomenon in Three Rivers. It is something that's becoming increasingly popular up and down the country, and it's come to South Oxley. You know what, Diane, there's so many good things going on in South Oxley at the moment. Really, the regeneration is really doing fantastically. So there's 2 free taster sessions. If you're not entirely sure if you fancy walking football or not, then there, as I say, are 2 free opportunities to have a little bit of a taster and see if you like it or not. These are going to be run in partnership between Watford Football Club, Community Sports Trust and the Three Rivers District Council. Ahead of a launch presumably of a bit of a league, a bit of an opportunity to go and play each other in January 2017. So they're explaining that walking football's a slower version of the normal game with a couple of minor differences. So instead of throw-ins, you've got kick-ins. There are no offsides. So those of us who don't know football very much, the offside rule. The ball must be kept below head height. Nice. And of course, absolutely no running allowed. It is walking football after all. But it is an opportunity to get people out of their armchairs who haven't played in a long while or a little bit unfit, and enable them to get out and socialise with their friends in the open air. So these 2 free taster sessions are going to happen on the 3G pitch by the swimming pool down in South Oxley, the Sir James Altham Swimming Pool and Oxyjets Football Club, on Thursday, November the 17th, and Thursday, December the 1st, between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. both times. And there's a guide to contact Andy Garlick on 01923, so Watford number 01923 496 391 496 391, or email Andrew Garlick at watfordfc.com, or Ryan Watson at Three Rivers, ryan.watson at threerivers.gov.uk. Again, a Watford number 01923 776611 if you want to take part in those free taster sessions.
Yeah, it's andrew.garlick at watfordfc.com.
Well done, Diane.
You missed out the dot. But not to worry, I think details are available on the Three Rivers website in their news section, aren't they?
Yep, they are. Absolutely. Nice picture at the bottom of a Watford player as well in his kit. So go along and have a look.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as you said, Christmas isn't that far off, and Richard Harrington's asking people to help him choose his Christmas card.
Yeah, he's done a bit of a job himself, as Richard. So well done. He's actually asked all this community engagement that he's doing. He's asked a competition. He's set a competition amongst local primary school pupils to design his 2016 Christmas card. So it'll be sent out to thousands of people all over the country. And the theme that they had to go for was Watford and Parliament. Now, I have to say, I've had a look at they've marked them, they've narrowed them down from thousands that were presented, thousands of applications, to I think it was about 12 or 14. Hundreds of entries were received, and the shortlist has now been announced. You can go and have a vote on the ones that you think are right and the ones that you think he ought to be using, and the winner will have a framed copy of the card for themselves, tea in Parliament for their family, and book vouchers for the child. You can vote online, and I have to say, I chose the one that had nothing to do with Watford or Parliament in it, because I thought it was far more Christmassy. But there are lots of Christmassy things, there are lots of Watfordy things. There's pictures of, I think that's probably Dorothy and Richard in Santa's sleigh giving out gifts. There's pictures of Big Ben with a Watford scarf on. There's all sorts of things there. The children have been really, really creative in their plans. Lots of things to do with train journeys and bus journeys and things between Watford and Westminster. So really, really good.
And the deadline to vote is coming up quite soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the 14th, if I remember rightly, the 14th of November. Clearly these have got to be printed and everything. So, yeah, there's a short list of 14, and you've got to vote for your favourite before midnight on the 14th of November. And they'll let you know who the winner is.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Tania. And are you going to stay with me whilst I try and do the sport?
I wouldn't let you be lonely, Diane, although I, as normal, will say absolutely nothing about the sport because I know very little about it.
I'm not sure I know that much more apart from what I've read. Anyway, I had a chat with Neal earlier in the week, and he thought that Watford was set up for the wrong way for the whole game, and they didn't really sort of even attempt to try and win the game until they were 5-0 down. So his view was that it was not only a bad performance, but it's also bad preparation, and that's why Watford lost. As many of you probably know, Neal Gomez, the Watford goalkeeper, was stretchered off or taken off after the second Liverpool goal after suffering an injury to his knee. What's quite interesting is WD Sport was saying that he's got an injury boost and that he should be back possibly in time for the next game, or probably in time for the next league game. This being an international weekend, there is no game this weekend. And the Watford observers say that the medical department of Watford still don't know when he'll be fully fit because they're unable to assess the injury due to swelling on the knee. So obviously conflicting information there, and we will no doubt find out more as the days and weeks go ahead. WD Sports are also claiming that Watford have seek planning permission to increase the Vicarage Road capacity to 30,000. What they're planning to do is to add a second tier to the Sir Elton John stand, which is the new stand that was opened last year. And what they're planning to do is add another 4,000 seater tier during the summer of 2018. At the moment, architects are drawing up the plans to make this happen. It's hope that they will end up with about 30,000, with 8,000 of those being in the St Elton John stand. Chief Executive Scott Duxbury is saying that he wants to increase the capacity because with 30,000, as that's the natural size for Watford's fan base and allows Watford to grow. They're still in the consultation phase with the council and local residents. Logistically, it might be best to take a breath. Subject to us getting planning permission, we'd start that in the summer of 2018. So, since the Pulsos bought the club and placed Duxbury in charge of day-to-day running, the old East Stand was demolished and replaced with a new 3,000 seat structure at the cost of £4.4 million whilst the club was in the Championship. The stand was still developed again this last summer with an additional 700 seats being added, bringing the total cost to around £5.5 million. Significant work also took place to fill in the corners of the ground last summer, adding another 1,500 seats to the capacity.
It seems that going into the Premier League really is boosting them, doesn't it? They seem to be growing and growing and growing.
Yes, I mean they get about £110 million a year, I think it is, from TV rights, and they say that being in the Premier League to someone like Swansea, which is probably a similar size club to Watford, is worth £55 million to the local economy outside of the football club. So it does provide opportunities for a big injection of cash into the area, which is got to be good.
It's got to be good, Diane. It's got to be good.
Okay, talking of good, Kings Langley, we're back to winning ways this weekend. Last weekend, rather. Last week, in the Herts Senior Challenge Cup first round, Kings Langley won 2-1 away to Hertford Town. Kings Langley scored each side of half-time, once on the 44th minute, once in the 47th minute, with Kipia getting both goals. There's much changed team that progressed through to the second round, with first half opportunities limited before Kings Langley scored the opening goal. Hertford Town scored a consolation goal in the second minute of time added on at the end. The other good news is that last Saturday, Kings Langley won 2-0 in the league. with the goals, both goals in the first half against Dorchester Town. So they dealt with the managerial departures of Paul Hughes and Richie Howland to turn totally committed, non-stop performance under caretaker manager Paul Hobbs and a deserved victory against Dorchester Town, who were bottom of the league.
Well done, them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Kings Langley are looking for a new chairman, and their chair, Derek Edgar, who's the chair, is reported as saying he's been surprised in the Watford Observer, saying he's been surprised with the quality of applicants for the vacant managerial post. He said they've had quite a few people applying for the post as manager of Kings Langley, some of whom have much higher league experience and have even worked on 2 professional clubs. He hopes Paul Edgar refuses to name the people who have applied, as he thinks it's right for them to protect their confidentiality. But he did say there were 1-2 surprises in there. He said that temporary manager Paul Hobbs has come in and done a really good job on a pro tem basis on the short term, but he's looking to get someone in permanently as soon as they can. However, whoever does come will face a stern test if they're to replicate the success of Hannon and Hughes, who brought Kings Langley 3 successive promotions during their 4 years at the club. Differing opinions over the club's playing budgets are believed to have played a role in the year's decision to depart and join Hayes and Yelling. Edgar was eager to stress the gratitude felt by Kings towards their former bosses and insists the new manager will be under no pressure to match their considerable achievements. So obviously that's something that we'll be busy watching the situation over the next few weeks. And
seems like there's quite a few people going for new jobs at the moment, Diane. There's a number of people that I know. It must be the time of year or something. All change.
I think you're right. Tomorrow they are playing Enfield Town at home in the FA qualifying round 2 trophy at 3 p.m. kickoff. And winning will give Kings Langley a prize fund of £3,250, which for a club of Kings Langley size is a significant amount of income. Valerians lost their 7th game in a row. We're talking rugby here now. Last Saturday, losing 42-19 away at Sudbury. Unfortunately, we can't bring a match report because they haven't updated their website. But they are obviously in the middle of in a huge long run, and those 2 wins for the first 2 games of the season now seem a long time off. However, they are at home tomorrow to Chelmsford to try and put everything right, kicking off at 2:15 in the afternoon. West
nice to be at home, isn't it? Nice to be at home. Local people, local stuff.
It is. It's apparently they've got some really good facilities down there because as we've heard from Ian Todman when he's been on the show, Valerians have got a fairly new clubhouse. It was built in the last couple of years, and some great facilities down there. So if you are around, please go down and join them. Okay, West Herts hockey. The West Herts women's first 11 ended its losing run by drawing 1-1 at home to Southgate last weekend, and the men scored 4 against Brighton. Tomorrow the men are playing Indian Gymkhana at home with a start time of 1:30, and the ladies ladies first 11 are playing away at Hampstead and Westminster on Sunday with a start time of 2 o'clock. Both details for how you get to the locations are available on the West Herts Hockey Club website. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Diane.
Wow, good. Have you got a picture?
I have, but I've got to get myself sorted out.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then I will start the charity event stuff, and then you can join in.
Okay. I mean, are you ready to roll right now? Are you?
We are, yes.
Well, you're gunning ahead with the show today.
We're hot, you know. We're hot around here.
Well, hang on just 1 second, and I will join you. Hang on a minute. Let's just get myself sorted out. As you can appreciate, I've only really just stepped into the studio.
As soon as you got there.
Yeah, so there you go. I've sort of just climbed back into the saddle, as it were, and here I am. So, first story you've got.
So we're going to talk about Peace Memorial having a concert with the Harrow Symphony Orchestra coming up on Saturday week.
Yes. Now I've conveniently closed that window. So I can't tell you anything about that because I haven't even looked at it yet. So you're going to have to cover that for me.
Okay, right. Harrow Symphony Orchestra are playing a unforgettable night of classic music to support the Peace Hospice Care and their 25th anniversary. Concerts being held at the Clarendon Mews Watford Grammar School for Boys, 70 Rickmansworth Road. That's on Saturday the 19th of November between 7:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Tickets are £15, and that's going to include refreshments at the interval. For more information to purchase tickets, please contact Liz Peel, who's the orchestra's secretary, on 07730 971 421. Alternatively, you can find out more information at hso.org.uk/concerts.html. It promises to be a spectacular night. There's no information on the Peace Hospice site about the programme for the evening, but I'm sure if you like classical music or a clean support of the Peace Hospice and you want them to help raise some money, you will get along and have a great time out there. And but probably best to get your tickets beforehand rather than just turning up.
Sounds like great value, Diane, at just 15 quid a ticket, and that includes the interval drinks or something. That sounds fabulous.
It does, doesn't it? And, I think Harrow Orchestra are kind of one of the better non-professional orchestras in the area, so it should be a good evening.
Should be, yep. Anyone who likes a little bit of tinkling and a little bit of bing-bonging, get along there.
A bit of violin plucking.
Sounds like fun.
Anyway, this is not fun, but it's on the great cause. And actually, I know you can both comment on this because you've both done this last year. And New Hope are appealing for people to take part in the St Albans Sleep Out, which takes place this year between December the 2nd through to the morning of December the 3rd. This is an annual sponsored sleep out in the grounds of St Albans Abbey. Chris,
not just New Hope, but also Dens and a whole variety of other charities that are aimed at helping people who are sleeping out. And the whole idea behind this is to give people a taste, really, of kind of how tough it is. And I know 8 of us did last year, I think, and we all sort of faced this evening with some level of trepidation about what the hell was going to happen. Fortunately, last year it was just really, really windy, but there was no rain, and actually it was quite mild. I think it was about 8 or 9 degrees. Still felt pretty cool. I know that you got quite cold.
We were frozen, Chris. Absolutely frozen.
I was roasty toasty in my I don't know what it was called, my Himalayan proof sheets and things. But I know it was pretty cold for you. My sleeping bag was quite warm, but the thing is, you get up in the morning and you head off back to your warm boat or warm flat or whatever it is, and have a bath and maybe cup of tea and that, and then and you realise that actually the people who are sleeping rough, it's just wander around the corner, sit on a park bench, do something, and it's same again the next day. So it really does bring it home to you how lucky we are, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I have bought myself some hand warmers. I don't know how they work. I think they're probably microwavable, so that's going to be no good whatsoever. but I haven't signed up yet. So a really, really good thing to do. But unfortunately, I haven't yet signed up. I haven't plucked up the courage. It was cold last year.
I haven't signed up either. I'm in a difficult spot that there might be something I have to do that evening. So I'm in a. But I know that Michael, Morgan, and also Ian Topman are both going to be doing it again this year. So if you can't get out there, do sponsor them, yeah, because it's it's worth 20 quid not to do it.
Chris, you're probably right.
It's amazing how many people actually do it. There was, I don't know how many there were, but there were a couple of hundred, I think it was. All
must have been.
All sort of sleeping around the outside of the church, the abbey there. It was. I mean, there has been -3, -4 that before they've said. And it has been pouring with rain as well, both of which we avoided last year. But I can imagine raining and cold would be very unpleasant.
Yes, I was clearly not prepared for either of those last year. If I do it again this year, then I will be much better prepared.
Okay. Now, if you want an application pack or anything, and as you say, it's not only New Hope, there's Dens from Hempstead are doing it, and a few other local homeless charities send people along to take part in this event, then you can download an application pack for New Hope at least through the New Hope website. They are looking for people. If you are interested, then please call New Hope on 01923 227 132. That's 01923 227 132, and ask for Sam. Alternatively, there's an email link on there, but it just says Sam at the moment, so obviously that's a Sam at New Hope or something like that, and you can get an application pack, or if you want more information. Okay, Chris, Watford Palace Theatre.
Yes, Watford Palace Theatre. That's in Clarendon Road, opposite the Royal Bank of Scotland, actually. Anything else you want to know about it? Oh, they've got something going on there. They've got Legally Blonde the musical going on, actually, very soon. That's coming up on, tonight, actually. If you get yourself down there, you can catch the start of that at 7:45. It's on tomorrow as well. In the after, they've got a matinee on tomorrow at 2:30, and they've got a showing tomorrow night. This is Legally Blonde, which is the story of is it Elle Woods, who basically very ladylike lady. She has everything that you could possibly imagine or would think a young lady would need, but she gets dumped by her boyfriend for being too Marilyn, whatever that means, and so she follows him to Harvard Law School and ends up taking a law degree and does quite well, allegedly. So yeah, if you fancy that, get yourself down there. There are some concessions and all that. You can get in for, I think it's, was it £17.50 and £14.50. Circles a little bit more, 20 quid just about. Children for a tenner. So look online, there are fees and stuff as well that you have to pay, but that sounds like it could be a bit of fun anyway. Yeah,
and yeah, if you see Catherine there, if you go tonight, do say hello.
Oh, is Catherine going, is she?
Yes, Catherine's going this evening.
Oh, so we'll have a report on that next week then.
Yes, exactly. Now, they've also got a bit of a classic on, haven't they, in Swallows and Amazons, Chris, on Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday coming, 11 AM. I think that's the only showing they've got going. Oh, hang on, no, have they got some more?
No, you're right. It is just this Sunday.
All present and the count is...
Oh, hang on. Hang on, it's actually playing it.
Yeah, I think you've just gone and hit the link by mistake.
Yeah, we were just giving you a quick excerpt of that there, actually. Swallows and Amazons, charming adaptation of Arthur Ransom's classic there. in the Lake District, venture loving children, so going on a holiday around there and sailing trip and having a whole load of fun by the looks of it. So yeah, if you fancy that, that's on the 13th, which is this Sunday at 11 a.m.
Yep, and tickets are £3.
Yeah, that's a bargain, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? And then later on Sunday, there is something a bit different, a delayed live broadcast from the Bolshoi Ballet, The Bright Stream.
Yeah, apparently this is a late showing. I don't know whether they had this coming and then it got postponed, but it says something about it being a delayed show, delayed this thing. But anyway, Harvest Festival, Collective Farm, visiting dance troupe, reunites a ballerina with her old childhood friend, Zena. So, yeah, quite a story of love and unfaithful husband and all that kind of good stuff. So if you fancy a bit of real culture, then Sunday evening seems like you can take in something really rather special. It's the tickets there. It's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, £15, no concessions, 3 o'clock.
Yeah. A useless fact for the show, big. So it's the big ballet. Also big in Russian.
How about that? We have a linguist amongst us.
Yes. Well, yeah, I know you speak lots of languages, Chris.
I don't.
Now, November is Black History Month, I believe, and the Black Ballet presents Ballet Black at the Watford Palace.
Yeah, a company for international dancers of Black and Asian descent, collaborating with some very innovative choreographers, and it's a trilogy of narrative and abstract dance which is going on here. Unflagging energy and unstoppable spirit. Ballet Black is phenomenal. That's what you've got to look forward to. Tickets are £17.50, £15 and £12.50. There are concessions there. Rumour 16 to 25-year-olds get their tickets for £5. Starts at on Tuesday, actually next week at 7:30 in the evening.
Okay, and something a bit different. Alan Bennett's Diaries.
Yeah, Alan Bennett's Diaries. This is Wednesday next week at 8 p.m. £15 the tickets. Candid look into the mind of Alan Bennett, best loved writer who's 82 now, believe it or not, and still writing profusely. Includes a screening of Alan Bennett's Diaries, new film about the writer, and inspired by his acerbic and hilarious diaries. The film shows Alan has never been seen before. Follows him to New York, early triumph in Beyond the Fringe, accept an award in the city's public library, back to Britain and Shepherd's Bush, etc., etc. So it's just following his sort of life and trails, really, but something very different, I would guess. And if you're into your Alan Bennett, worth a pop along there, I would expect, on Wednesday next week.
Yeah, and one of the things they're featuring is, in fact, there's an exclusive Q&A with Alan Bennett online after the show.
How brilliant is that?
So, yeah, if you're into Alan Bennett, that's probably the place to go. Now, something a bit different. Watersmith Theatre down in Rickmansworth, they had a kidology presentation of Lost Toys.
Yeah, every year Kidology Dance Company showcase their dancer talents in a spectacular performance of dance and drama, and they're doing this Lost Toys, and it's happening on the 13th, which is that Sunday? It is, isn't it?
Sunday, yes.
But two showings, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. £10 adults, £7 concessions. and that's down in Rickmansworth at Watersmeet there. So if you want to go down there with, I'm not much about this, but is this aimed at? It's obviously aimed at children. I would have thought, isn't it? Or
it is, Chris. Yes, it's really, I think, to get people, young people involved and interested in dance.
Fabulous stuff. Surprising what you get to learn on this show.
It is, isn't it? Now, on Thursday, the Friends of Watersmeet Film Society have a new film, showing rather, I should say, of Money Monster. Yeah,
now, financial TV host Lee Gates and his producer Patty are put in an extreme situation when an irate investor takes over their studio. Starring George Clooney, Julia Roberts and Jack O'Connell. So this goes out, as you say, on Thursday, 2 p.m. and 7:45. So about an hour and 40 minutes. Certificate 15. Non-members, £5 for adults, £3 for the matinee. Concessions are £4 for the evening. So it says you don't have to book for this, but they'd like you to, basically.
Okay. So that sounds very good. And still carrying on the dance theme, Len Goodman's coming to town on Tuesday.
Len Goodman, he is. So it's Friday's, BBC's Friday night is music night, presents an evening with Len Goodman. This is on Tuesday. A lot going on, isn't there? A lot going on in this part of the world. Dig out your hats, sequins and stilettos. I've put mine away, actually. I'll have to get them out again. As Len Goodman prepares to leave his post as head judge on BBC TV's Strictly Come Dancing, he presents a special Friday night's music night featuring some of his favourite music and reflecting his life in the ballroom dancing world. So if you're into dancing, then it seems like it'd be a good thing to go and have a watch of, I would have thought.
Okay. Now there are several other gigs coming up at the Coliseum, such as the Jules Holland one and everything, but they're all full. But there is something that perhaps, if you have young children, you might be interested in, and that's Santa Claus and the Night Before Christmas at the Coliseum.
Yeah, this is showing right the way through from Thursday the 1st of December to Saturday the 24th of December, and with songs, stories, a meet and greet with Santa and a free gift. So from the producers of last year's record-breaking production, Santa Claus and the Magical Christmas Journey, the enchanting Christmas experience returns with a brand new adventure. So it's all about Christmas Eve, most children hanging up their stockings. There are a few boys and girls in Watford who aren't. They don't believe in Santa, and the Christmas morning, fast approaching cheeky elves, Charlie and Cara must help Santa prove that he is indeed real. So for all ages, 2+, sounds like it could be a real hoot. Get along. And they've also, haven't they, at the Coliseum, got a Christmas fair or something going on later in the month as well, haven't they?
Yes, I was going to talk about that nearer the time.
Okay.
It's just the Santa one, I think you needed to book quite early for.
This particular one we're talking about, this Thursday, the 1st, yeah.
Which is why
I just wonder who on earth could doubt that Santa is real. I mean, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I mean, this is going out to all the children in Watford, so please do put your stockings up, get to bed early, put that whiskey out and a mince pie. Or is it a carrot or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a glass of sherry in my house.
Oh, was it? Okay. I think he was absolutely stoned by the time he got to mine. So.
Okay.
I think in our house it got knocked over.
Chris, the countdown to Christmas Family Fun Day, I think, is the thing you're talking about, which takes place on the 27th of November.
That's the fella, yeah.
Yep.
And that's really popular that's a little fair thing going on there. Lots of stuff for the kids to do, but I'm sure you'll cover that in a subsequent week.
Yeah, at the moment they only have a poster up on the website that talks about it's going to be a family fun day with face painting, arts and crafts, various performances, bouncy castle, a soft play area, storytelling, visit centre, and a Christmas mini mart. But £3 for over 15, children are free. That's Sunday the 27th of November, 12 till 4, the Coliseum, but there are no other details at the moment on the Coliseum website. So obviously we can pass them on.
Yeah.
Now, from Santa, we have got that perennial favourite down at the Horns this evening with DJ Wayne.
Yeah, DJ Wayne back in the house from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. You'll love this, Tania. He's 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and more. Playing oldies, he says here, that will make you dance and sing till you can't dance and sing no more.
That's it, I'm there.
So if you want to wake up with stiff calves and leg muscles, I would suspect that where you need to be tonight is down at the Horns.
Yeah.
Or if you want to make up having had a lovely night of dancing, then that's the place to be.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, Wired are playing tomorrow night at the Horns as well, aren't they, Chris, the band?
They are. They're a 6-piece band covering various tunes. They've been entertaining audiences since 2004 and have really got themselves quite a bit of a reputation. So they're going to be down there tomorrow from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. So I'm sure if you're regular at the Horns, you'll know this Wired group. But yeah, looks like 2 good nights coming up down there.
Okay, and can they make it 3 in a row with Last Resort on Sunday?
Top Soul Band is back. This is Last Resort at the Horns, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. So if you like a bit of afternoon entertainment, then I should be walking past there probably between those hours, listening to what they're doing. So might just nip in there for a cheeky lime and soda.
Okay. Okay. Now, Yellow Comedy. They have all sorts of gigs coming up. Let's start with this evening's down at the kitchen, shall we, Chris?
Yeah, if you are into this is fantastic local collaboration. The Yellow Comedy, local guy putting on a little comedy circuit supplied by comedians from around the area who, of course, need to practice their art. So Mr. Andy Carberry has created a circuit for them to be able to practice what they do. And of course, for that, they need an audience, which is us, the people of the local area who get to see comedy for free. The venues are all part of the local community and benefit from having a pile of people in there buying coffee, cake and other lovely goodies. Everybody wins. There are no losers in this, which is fabulous. It's exactly what community collaboration is all about. And tonight, the whole list of things here, tonight kicks off at the kitchen in Croxley, right near the station there. Our doors open at 7:30, 8 o'clock start, and James Shakeshaft is the headliner, and he is hilarious. He's just really funny. Reminds me a bit of Ricky Gervais, not in a cringing way, but in a sort of style. He's a bit Ricky Gervaisy. So if you like Ricky Gervais, you'll probably love James Shakeshaft. I saw him at Reason some time ago, a few months ago, and he's really funny actually. So you're going to miss a treat if you don't get down there tonight. And of course,
there's also a couple of really good sporting acts as well, aren't there? Sean Sellers is brilliant, as is Alan Simmons, and Mad Ron. Have you seen Mad Ron, Chris?
I don't know. What does Mad Ron do?
Mad Ron stands there in a coat and looks like a 1960s criminal. It's very, very funny.
I think I have seen Mad Ron. Yeah, I think he was on at the same night that that James Shakeshaft was on. You can't say that after a drink, really, very easily. Shakeshafted.
Well, luckily, it's coffee and teas only, isn't it? The kitchen.
It is coffee and teas only, and also I don't drink anymore, so it's never a problem for me.
And of course, it's a great opportunity to try the lemon drizzle.
It is a great, but they have, and I'm going to give a little bit of a plug here to Linda, because she has got a cake down there, which is a chocolate and beetroot cake with avocado and chocolate frosting. And I tell you what, it is awesome. It's also vegan, it's also dairy free and gluten free. But not that I care about any of that for myself. I do care about it for other people, of course. There are people who are intolerant of those things. But it's just delicious. It's a delicious cake, very healthy. It's got beetroot in it, which, if you didn't know, contains iodine. Very rare in vegetables, okay? You've got to get it from seafood normally. If you're short on iodine, get down there and have a bit of cake.
Yep, or eat beetroot. Tomorrow night, the Yellow Comedy are at the Pump House.
Yeah, they move to the Pump House tomorrow. Headliner Andy Steadman. Doors open 7:30, starts at 8 p.m. So if tonight's not enough for you and you want to grab some more comedy, then tomorrow night you can do that down at the Pump House. Always free to... Is it free to get in there as well?
Yeah, it's free to get in there as well.
All free to get in, but of course it isn't free to get out. Yeah, the doors are locked. You are actually expected to shell out large amounts of money to get out. Otherwise, you stay there for the whole night. That last bit wasn't true, actually.
Exactly, but no, please do make a contribution, because it helps with Andrew's running costs. And the headline tomorrow night is Andy Steadman, who wanted people may have seen performing once or twice locally previously. He had a very successful run-up in Edinburgh during Edinburgh Fringe this August, and no doubt he'll have lots of new material, because he usually brings new stuff each time he comes. Then on Monday night, Andrew's other comedy troupe, the Bosun Delight, playing up in London, so we'll pass over that, but we'll just give a brief heads up to next Friday when it's at Reason Cafe. Yeah,
so we've got a few more coffee shops which are coming up. So on the 18th of November, we're back at Reason. Same thing. 7:30 doors, 8 o'clock start. So if you want to go to that, that's Friday the 18th. And then Saturday, November the 19th, which is the day after, Perk Coffee. So that's down in Delta Gain on Carpenter's Park. And they had a really cracking do down there. There was like 50 people down there last time. So if you and I think you've got now the bookings online using Eventbrite, I think. So if you want to make sure you get a space, go and book in.
Yeah, and then just very briefly, I will just plug the fact that Yellow Comedy is supporting Watford Women's Centre at the Pump House on the 3rd of December. Tickets are available online for £8 and 3p, because it's the way that Eventbrite worked out the commission, or £7 straight from Watford Women's Centre, or £9 on the door on the night. Headliner Steve Owen Williams. The comedian performance includes Sonia Asp, Rosie Holt, John Long, and Pete White, all of whom are really funny. And someone who I've not seen was Ariel Suma. So that's something to look forward to. Great night, great cause. That's on December the 3rd. Tickets are available, as I said, online or from the Women's Centre in Market Street. And that is on December the 3rd at the Pump House. And Michael Green, Diabetes Foundation, have a wine tasting on the 25th of November at Reason, Chris.
Yeah, with our usual Julia from Flagship Wines providing the wine for the evening. always very, very high quality wines, not the stuff that you're going to find in supermarkets. She does go to the vineyards herself and hand picks the wines that she sells in her wine shop over in between Hatfield and St Albans. And she's so knowledgeable about the wine. She tells you, you know, like exactly why you can taste what you can in the wine, where the grapes were harvested on the hill, and why it's maybe a little bit sweeter or a little bit sour, or not sour, but you know, like a little bit drier. She just knows a wine inside out, and it really does bring the wine to life, because every wine has got a story, and when you know the story, it makes the experience much more enjoyable. So if you want an interesting evening of wine tasting, not just quaffing a glass of wine, oh, that tastes all right, you want to actually do a proper job, then go along. All very reasonable, £25 I think the tickets are. You'll get to try 8 different wines on the evening, and have a lot of fun to boot, I would have thought.
Yeah, and that is... Oh, there's an echo somewhere.
Suddenly echo.
Yes, that was right.
That used to be a newspaper around here, the Echo, didn't it?
It did.
I'd throw that in. Not a news channel show, I know, but just demonstrating my flexibility there.
Yes, and that was part of the Thompson local newspaper corporation when he owned the Times as well, and Sky Tours travel industry.
God, you're just showing off now, Diane. Stop it.
I know. I am a font of useless knowledge. Right, okay, now Link for Growth next week is a fairly packed week. Tomorrow it's opportunity to meet Chris and talk about Link for Growth coffee. Link for Growth, sorry, it's a coffee session at Barracuda, which is next to Watford Market. That's between 10 and 11:30, that's tomorrow. Or indeed, join Chris for a crispy bacon sandwich. I gather, Chris, after many attempts, they finally got it right for you.
Well, funnily enough, you should say, last week, I'll tell you a funny story. Last week, he was a bit down on his staff last week, so I was actually served by one of the owners of Barracudas. And I said to him, now, I've been coming here for quite a while, and we're not quite there yet. I think we're probably a 7.5 out of 10 on the crispiness of this bacon. So he personally saw to it, my bacon. And I said to him, you know, you've gone up, it's 8.5 now, we're nearly there. If you really want to know how to do it, I volunteer to come into the kitchen and show you how I would. He declined my invitation, but it's good fun in there on a Saturday morning, and a good crowd of staff in there who we've got to know quite well. So if you fancy coming down there for a great bacon and egg sandwich on brown, with crispy bacon, I'm your man.
Great, and it's a good opportunity to find out more about Link for Growth and what it does and how it works. And
no, you don't want to find anything out about that. Just have a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
Then on Monday morning, there's a Link for Coffee or a coffee morning at Reason Coffee Shop. So do join Neal at Monday morning, 10 o'clock, top of the parade. See the lights and see how they're looking perhaps in daylight. Are they any good? Neal will be hosting the coffee morning between 10 and 11:30 on Monday. Then on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, there is a Link for Coffee at the Kitchen, which is, as we said, at Croxley, near to the tube station there. So you can join Chris for lemon drizzle cake or chocolate beetroot avocado, gluten-free, whatever it is, dairy-free.
Don't knock it. The health benefits of that cake are unbelievable. You've got to. What are you going to do? See, these cakes, it's a whole new, and to be honest, I'll tell you, it's half the amount of sugar. You know, the reason I like Hungarian cakes, right, just a little bit of trivia for you, is because they don't put so much sugar in them. And I'm not a big sugary person, as you know, so I like cakes to be sweet, but not silly sweet. And this chocolate avocado beetroot cake is just spot on. It's not sweet, too sweet. And actually, I think a slight improvement could be replacing the avocado sugar the avocado, the brown sugar, with some crushed dates. I think that might even do a bigger trick. So a little bit of a tip there for Linda if you're watching. But the idea is to get 6 really healthy cake recipes and make a little bit of a niche out of that, because I think that'd go quite well.
The fact that it's cake means in my mind it can never be healthy for you.
No, change your thinking. That's all just a thought. Tania, back me up on this.
Anyway.
We don't need to be so black and white about it, maybe, Diane. Maybe there are healthy alternatives.
Black and white. Yeah, that's right. They do orange versions.
Now you're talking about fake towns and somebody in America. Anyway, we'll now move on to Thursday evening, because there it's Link for Drinks in Watford at Moon Under the Water. Pubs on the High Street there. That's Thursday evening from 6 o'clock onwards. This is usually a quite well attended event, and as I said, it's a great opportunity to meet up and socialise with people, and that starts on 6 o'clock on Thursday. Chris, I know that you were out in a restaurant last night. Would you care to give us a restaurant review?
I can do that, yeah. Hang on just 1 second, though. Hang on just 1 second.
Where's he gone?
Now, you know as well as I do that I'm a chap that doesn't overeat, right? Now, I was out there last night at Zinco's, at the top of the town, right? And now that, right, I'll just hold it up there, that, yeah, is what is left, right, from my pizza last night, yeah? Now, that's a veritable meal on its own, that pizza, right? And that's what's left, right? And I was absolutely stuffed to the gunnels. So, for value for money, Zinco's at the top of the town, pretty good, really. My 6'4" son tucked into some chicken and other bits and pieces, and he added the side of broccoli, which remained pretty much untouched because he was just full up. So service was good. Service was with a smile, clean place. Some Christmas parties, I think, already started actually, yeah, attentive service in there, and the food was great, and didn't have to wait too long, and yeah, good stuff. So Zinco's top of the town. I have to be honest, we were sitting there and we were talking away because I hadn't seen my son for ages. I have seen him, but I hadn't been out together, just us two, for ages. But the wafting smells of food that was going to other tables was absolutely amazing. It was making me hungry all over again. But yeah, good place. Try it out. I know that Catherine and Nick are big firm fans of Zinco's. They always love it in there.
Okay, well, thank you for that then, Chris. And that ends today's show. Thank you to Chris and Tania for taking part.
It's a pleasure. See you again.
Always a pleasure. Loved it.
Okay, well,
a bit late. Sorry about that, but
thank you both, and hopefully we'll have a full team back next week, so we can send Chris out on an interview somewhere. And if you do want a visit from Chris, or you want to find out more about Link for Growth, or have ideas or an event you want publicising, or anything like that, you want to get in touch with us for find out more about Link for Growth, then please do via Twitter at L4GSWHearts. That's at L4GSWHearts. And until next week, we'll see you next week at 4 o'clock. Bye bye.